Hey everyone, it's Joe and Darren over at Urban Hillsides Real Estate with another edition of Real Estate Reality. And Darren, periodically when we have listings, we go through each market and see if we can pick up any sort of market patterns, trends, anything that might help the sale. And here we are today doing that. So it was a good idea. Let's share it with the people out there, right? So
Absolutely.
a big part of where we are is Northeast Los Angeles, community of Silver Lake, Echo Park, Mount Washington, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Montecito Heights, Atwater Village, Los Feliz, all those great neighborhoods. And this is going to be a hyper local view of what we think is happening right now in the market and some factors that might happen very soon to affect that market. So, Darren, where do you want to start? I guess we should start with the.
Some of the general comments.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I'll also point out that, we have some listings outside of those areas, and we've evaluated those, and we're seeing similar trends
Yeah.
throughout various pockets and neighborhoods.
All right. So let's go with the four that we've found. So low volume persists. There is some inventory increase, and days on market, they're getting longer. So, and then finally, months supply has increased. So we'll break this down a little bit more with the help of the MLS and looking at their market tool to explain some of this. So let me go ahead and share that.
Sure. And as you pull that up, Joe, I'll point out that, some of these trends look a little more erratic, and they're erratic because we have low volume. In some areas, we're talking 3, 5, 7 sales. So obviously a few sales can shift that and make it look like there's been a dramatic change. But really not. There is some pretty consistent numbers coming out.
Right. So here we are. What we did is we chose not every zip code, but ones that we think are very representative of Northeast LA. So we've got 90031. For El Sereno, we've got 90065 for Mount Washington, Cypress Park, 90026 for Silver Lake, Echo Park, and then 90039, which is Silver Lake and Atwater Village. And then finally, Eagle Rock, 90041. So where we wanted to start, right, Darren, was active listings. And this is looking at it monthly from March to August. So what do you see there?
So each dot represents a month, and then on the left side there you have volume that it's calculating as it shifts. Some of them are starting in different points. There's always some breakouts in a variety of communities based on inventory that's coming on the market. 6.5 certainly had an uptrend for a long time with the highest volume of sales, and 6.5 can be a lower price compared to 3.1, which is probably the lowest priced area in general. But the ones in the middle, 2.6, 3.9, are staying pretty steady, and 4.1 as well. So not major shifts. Some of these are a little seasonal, coming out of early year to mid-year, and will trend out a little lower as we get into the later part of the year.
Right. Okay. And then I guess we'll go to closed sales. And this is again monthly.
Right.
What do you see there, Darren?
We got the same thing, higher volume in 6.5. It kind of had a peak in June and came back down. They've all somewhat equalized near the end. A little spike in 4.1 Eagle Rock area, but 1 month is not a trend. So we'll see how that averages out over time. Nothing dramatic.
Right. And then pending sales, again, pretty flat and steady, right? Overall.
Yeah, super flat in 4 of the 5 zip codes with, again, 6.5 just having substantially more volume.
As we run over to new listings, again, still pretty flat over the last couple of months. And then we get to days on market. We talked about it getting longer. Well, month supply is getting longer, but days on market, and let's switch this to median.
Right.
And what do you see there at the top? 90031, 50 days on market.
Right. And the volume of sales was very low there. So that's one of those You
It's
know,
like 4, I think.
a few sales could have shifted that whole graph, and probably did.
Right.
Obviously, 3 out of 4 of those are almost completely flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been a pretty consistent market, although it's certainly a little harder to sell properties these days. Takes more effort, but all the trends are very similar. There isn't anything
Yeah.
too dramatic.
Right. And as we were talking, it's not the days of old. It's certainly a different market in terms of
Right.
selling and being patient. So month supply, here we are. You noticed there's 90026 was up at a 4-month supply, and a balanced market, right, is considered 6 months. So we are going up to 6, it looks like, at least maybe.
Right. So,
Um,
the numbers are interesting. I think those baseline numbers. What we always hear these days are baseline numbers for like what percentage of your income should pay for your housing. Um, and I don't know that baseline numbers can hold off forever, right? So I'll tell you
yeah,
this: 4 months feels like a very balanced market. I'll certainly say buyers have more leverage than they probably had in a decade.
right,
And really, they had none in the
right.
past. So it feels more balanced in general. Pretty consistent with us, right property, best preparation. Will take a little longer, but should still get some good results.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right about those old numbers. We have to be careful of that, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe 4 is the new 6. We'll see.
Yeah. Sounds
Um,
about right. Yes.
all right, and then I guess we could just kind of end out on sale price, and again, fairly flat for most of them. You do see Silver Lake kind of drifting down a bit, but these are all low
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. 3 months of drifting down in 3.9. Um, no dramatic shifts.
No,
Correct.
no,
All in a fairly tight pocket there.
right. So let me go over now to, let's see here, factors coming up. So there's a rate reduction next week that hopefully Mr. Powell will announce.
Right.
Um,
And I think the expectation is a quarter. And if it comes in at a quarter, those factors are probably already built into rates. So,
mhm,
because
mhm,
rates have been trending down based on this
right,
expectation. Be
right,
careful. I don't know that we want to wish for more. If it ends up being a half, there could be a negative response
right.
with the belief that there's expectations of further economic stress. But we'll know next week. But things like this put people on pause sometimes. This is one
Right.
pause factor.
Hot off the heels of the debate, the presidential election could make people pause in this market.
Definitely the case. And I think this has always been a factor, but I think it's even more of a factor now with the fact that the parties are so, even if they find some commonality in the end, their positions and their presentations are at dramatically different spectrums of
Mhm.
economic components that they want to put into play.
Yeah.
So it
A
certainly
lot of
affected.
unsurety.
Absolutely. There will
Yeah.
be different things happening depending on who's elected.
Right. And then finally, number 3, the new world of real estate. And that means compensation has changed, right, Darren? And so also negotiation has changed in this new world of real estate. And are we done with it? Are we used to it? I don't think so. What do you have to say?
It's an uncertain world, and not only so in shifting, if you imagine just the premises of the shift from agent to agent,
Hmm.
dialogue and communication and compensation being defined,
Mm.
to really in the end it ends up being seller seller to buyer. They're
Yeah.
really ingrained. It's not determined in the beginning. There's conversations from buyers to agents about paying them commissions, which never took place, good or bad. There's conversations about just with sellers on whether they're going to pay a buyer's agent and whether that's relevant or worth it. So lots of new conversations. Personally, I believe this is the biggest factor of the three, and those other two are pretty damn big. But all three of these are having an impact on the persistent low volume going forward, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure we will revisit this next month, and we'll report back to you guys. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll see you hopefully very soon. Anything else, Darren?
Nope. That's it, man.
All right, guys. You take care, huh? Have a good one.
Bye.